Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we've got 4 bits of bike tech that were better back in the day, a new hub, new shoes, your bikes, your upgrades,
And a whole heap more. Let's do it. All right, let's just do it. Big news this week in the world of tech is the release of a new bike from Orbea, the Terra H, which follows in the footsteps of its older sibling, the Terra Carbon, which was released last year. Now, this bike is made from aluminium, comes with a carbon fork, and the idea or the purpose behind it is that it's suitable for riding on all different types of terrain. So, gravel, road, cyclocross, that kind of thing, because the position of it is slightly more upright, a bit more relaxed than a standard road racing bike.
Something I really like about this bike is that it's got a whopping amount of tyre clearance, like 40 millimeters, which means, well, you can either run massive tyres or you can run mudguards and have it as a winter bike. No, you're a big fan of guards.
I love mudguards.
It's also got internal cable routing through axles and my favourite feature.
Go on.
Threaded bottom bracket.
Oh yes, big fan of that too.
Yeah, I love threaded bottom brackets. And it's £1,400 is the retail.
Yeah, they start at that, don't they? There's a few different models available.
Yeah, but I think for a bike that looks that good and that spec, that's very competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing these days how much you can get for your money, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, of course, not always, but you know, in some cases you can. Anyway, more tech later on. This week's hot topic is bike tech that was better back in the day.
Right, before we proceed with this, I need to make a disclaimer, and that is that myself and John are absolutely not Luddites. We love all tech and all innovation, and yeah, we're a big fan of, you know, the constant inventions and developments that happen.
Yeah, whilst there's been some amazing and really innovative ideas that have come out, are they all good? Are there any products out there that were better back in the olden days?
Yeah, is there any examples of bike tech that was, you know, really good back in the day that's perhaps been left behind and forgotten about? We think there are. So here are 4 examples of bits of bike tech that we think were better back in the day.
It's a risky one. So something which is probably the most controversial, I reckon anyway, and we're going to start with it now, the bottom bracket, specifically the threaded outboard bearing bottom bracket, as my glamorous assistant here is displaying. Look at that. Now, these are still commonly available actually, and really, really popular in the customised frame building communities. And well, they have a number of advantages over the press fit bottom bracket, don't they?
Yeah, but it's important to point out that, you know, before we completely bash press fit bottom brackets, as a lot of people like to do, that there are some distinct advantages to press fits. They're not all bad. So first thing is that you can have bigger diameter spindles and bottom brackets, which means that you can have within the bearings more individual ball bearings within that bearing, which can make them more efficient, but also it can mean that they can potentially last longer, the bearing that is. The other advantage is that you can have wider spacing with a press fit, which can potentially make the bottom bracket area stiffer, and you can make them lighter as well. And cartridge bearings are very easy to replace as well.
The downside though, mate, there are so many different standards for the press fit bottom bracket.
Don't know what you're on about there, mate. It's not that many bottom bracket standards. I mean, there's only the BB90, BB95, the BB30, BB30A, then you've got the PF30, the BB Right, the BB386, BB386 Evo, and the TF30.
Yeah, all right. We get the point. And probably by the time we finish this video, there's going to be a new one released onto the market.
Don't doubt it.
Also, creaking and longevity, they tend to get, well, quite a hard time with the press fit bottom bracket community.
Yeah, creaking is a big issue, and it is something that is massively associated with press fit bottom brackets, because fundamentally, you know, it's not always optimum, and it requires very high levels of tolerances.
Yeah, it's interference fit after all, isn't it?
Of fitting a metal bearing, slotting it into a carbon shell, you know, it can be a difficult thing to achieve.
Yeah. What about mechanical components then? Because the old adage goes that quality components wear in rather than wear out. And back in the early 90s, when I first became a real bike nerd or geek with components, well, those parts were simply beautiful, but also they were built to last. So yeah, they were quite heavy, which also adds to their lifespan, because you do see a lot of old parts still kicking around, don't you? Now, setting up those parts as well was also really, really simple, and something which I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, I think a good example, if you look at an old Campagnolo record down tube shifter and rear mech, they're so simple. There's just basically nothing to go wrong with those components.
No.
And I would happily take those components apart and put them back together again, and I'd feel confident doing so just because of their mechanical simplicity.
It's not going to explode, is it? When you undo it, it's not going to be like, oh no,
yeah,
a million bits. It's not like a nightmare jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, but it is important to point out, and this is really important, that the quality of the shifting on modern electronic group sets is without question better. It's absolutely superb. But there is something great about those older components that are just so mechanically simple and reliable, and the fact that you would feel confident repairing them, and they can be pretty much repaired almost anywhere if needs be, if they do go wrong. Next up, we have tubular tyres with latex inner tubes, which feel absolutely bloody amazing to ride. Now, in recent years, we've seen the increase in popularity of clinchers and tubeless ready clinchers, and this has seen the decline in tubular tyres, even amongst pros. And this is for good reason, because, arguably clinchers and tubeless tyres are more practical, they're easier to fix at the roadside, and they can also offer lower rolling resistance.
However, the best quality tubular tyres out there, when they've been glued on, not taped, by a professional mechanic, the rolling resistance of that is right up there, or down there, with the best clinchers on the market. They're also lighter. There's something about them, when you nail it through a corner, it's oh so special.
Yeah, they feel so good in the corners.
I mean, also, heat build-up, that's not so much of a problem if you're using carbon rims too with tubulars.
Yeah, although we should point out that's completely negated if you're running disc brakes, but that's another story.
That's completely different. Right, and while we're on tyres then, what about narrow tyres? Because this one flies in the face of the wide tyre cool gang that it seems to be a popular thing to be in at the moment. And even science has shown that a 23mm tyre is faster than a 25mm tyre, because despite having slightly more rolling resistance, it's aerodynamically faster.
Yeah, so the tipping point is 35k an hour. If you're going over 35k an hour, 23, the aerodynamics makes it faster than a 25.
Oh, there we are.
Just out of interest, what was the diameter tyres that you with tyres you rode on your penny farthing when you rode to school? Back in the day.
Penny farthings, that was a dream when I was a kid. Crumbs, cheeky. Right.
No, but in all seriousness, I think that despite the advantages of riding wider tyres, which there are advantages.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to argue with that.
I think we should be looking at prevention rather than the cure here. I think we should be demanding smoother, better quality road surfaces and then riding 23s rather than just riding 25s, because the roads we ride on are a bit crap.
Yeah, I agree there actually. We should be demanding Siberian pine wood. That's the wood that you find on velodromes. And then we can ride 18mm tubular silk tyres to work.
With no puncture protection.
Yeah.
Lighter as well.
Kickstarter? Set up a Kickstarter?
Set up a Kickstarter,
yeah. I mean, we're bound to make money out of that. Or roads, at least.
Next up, steel frames. Now, we love carbon fibre, and
no denying
it's an amazing material for bike frames.
Yeah.
There's so many advantages to it. However, if we were faced with an impending zombie apocalypse and I had prior knowledge and sufficient time to select my bike frame material of choice before the undead swarms took hold of all the local bike shops, then my frame material of choice would undoubtedly be steel, because it's more rugged and it can be fixed easily.
Yeah. Not to mention being modified too. And there was something, personally for me, oh so romantic about having a steel frame that's been built by a legendary frame maker, Ernesto Colnago, Ugo De Rosa, Dario Pegoretti, Brian Rourke. They all had these telltale signs of their individual craftsmanship. So Brian Rourke, for instance, had a wraparound seat stay which went around the top tube and seat tube interface, and instantly you know that was a Rourke that you were riding on. And you don't sort of get that feel with a carbon bike. You know, you're still definitely a skilled worker and craftsman to actually be able to assemble it, all those layers of carbon and such like, but there's just something quite romantic about having the steel frame, that's knowing that, you know, those hands have built thousands and thousands of old steel frames over the years.
Yeah, plus if you have a steel frame, it means we can use a outboard threaded bottom bracket that we spoke about earlier as well.
Good point, yeah.
But I think, you know, we should point out that this
it's tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. It is really tongue-in-cheek.
We are for technological innovation, but I think fundamentally something that we're both passionate about is sustainable design, and the idea of buying a product that is built to last and still be working in 25, 50 years time. And you know, I worry that we lose a bit of that sometimes with some modern products because they're advancing so quickly.
Yeah, and I think I'm really, really guilty of basically stockpiling components and spare parts, things like that, because I don't know when what's currently in use is suddenly going to become new old stock or retro, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is probably part of my problem, why I've got such a vast collection of bikes and 10-speed cassettes, 9-speed cassettes, things like that lying around brand new in boxes, because I'm worried when I can't buy that component anymore to fit on a bike when it wears out. I mean, I've got issues with that, but that's a whole different story. But let us know, which bits of tech on your bike do you think were better back in the day? And we say back in the day, well, it could have been last week if it's been superseded in the meantime. But, you know, let us know which bits of those tech you think were just better.
It's now time for the results of our amazing giveaway.
What was it?
Well, last week I unboxed the new FSA K-Force Wii group set.
Oh,
amazing prize.
Yes, go on.
So who's the winner?
It's Michael Enns in CA.
Where is that Canada or?
Yes, Canada, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yes, Canada.
Okay.
So Michael Enns in California.
Yeah, sorry, you haven't won.
Yeah, it's
sorry, mate.
Michael Enns in Canada.
Yeah, don't get in contact.
Yeah. Michael Enns, though, will be in contact very shortly to arrange delivery of that fantastic prize. Lucky lad. All right, shoes. I absolutely love shoes. I've got so many pairs of casual shoes as well as cycling shoes, and brand new, just been launched, these Physique Tempo Power Strap R5s. I'm in love with these already. Right, get your hands off for the moment. They've got a really unique look to them, really, because of the crisscross style Velcro pattern, and then just, well, a standard one across the top. And really, thinking about it now, this should have gone into those 4 bits of tech that were better back in the day. Velcro. Nothing can go wrong with that, can it? You can get your grubby little hands on them.
Thanks, man. Yes, talking about sustainable design.
Yeah.
Velcro straps, they just last ages. But also, you probably can't see this, but this material that the strap is made from, it's like, well, a seatbelt material.
like Cordura, that kind
it's
of
just
thing.
it's not gonna stretch at all, really. That's really good. I really like these. Do you know what they remind me of?
Go on.
My old Puma Mostros that I used to wear circa 2003.
Oh, don't tell me you had a mullet as well to go with them.
Oh, yeah.
Dear me. Right, well, something else that's new this week is a new hub system. So, the 2.0 Phoenix is an interesting one because it's a hub shell that's split into 2 parts. You've got the inner shell and the outer shell. The inner shell is held in place with a lock ring, and you can remove that inner shell that the cassette is fixed onto and then put it into another hub shell, which is laced into another wheel, tighten up the lock ring and go off and ride. Now, what's the benefit of that really? Well, I've been having a little look around and it seems like it just speeds up the process of not having to take apart a cassette with a cassette tool and a chain whip and then refit it. Something which isn't really that much of a hard task, to be perfectly honest, is it? So I can't really see this sort of thing, taking off. I mean, hats off to them. It is an innovation. It is different. And I'm sure that for some people out there, it is going to be of use. But for us, I quite enjoy taking off a cassette, really, just giving it a good clean on the inside, cleaning up the spacers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. Taking off a cassette is a great opportunity to clean it.
Yeah.
And I agree. I guess the only advantage is you don't need a chain whip, and maybe if you had the hub body part on different sets of wheels. You'd only have to have one cassette and you just slot out that into your aero wheels or your climbing wheels or whatever. And I don't know,
you're never going to wear out a cassette at a different rate, are you?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's interesting. It's good to see things like this going on.
This week, a new aeropod has been brought to our attention, having been displayed at the bike show Interbike. It's called the VeloSense CDA-01 and is the latest sensor pod that claims to be able to measure your drag coefficient in real time as you ride. Now, you may recall from earlier in the year, we reported on the new devices, Nocio Connect and the aeropod from Eurobike. However, the makers of the VeloSense claim that this device is different. Instead of using a pitot tube, as found on the aforementioned devices, and also what aeroplanes tend to use.
Is that what they use on the front? That thing that pops out the front?
It can be if it comes out like that, but more often than not, the big sensor thing you're thinking of on the front of the plane isn't the sensor, it's usually the air-to-air refueling nozzle.
Oh, yeah.
In actual fact, they're looking to use a sensor, well, it is using a sensor that's derived more from Formula One. And the reason why they've done this is that the makers believe this is far more suited to the lower speeds that you will typically encounter while riding a bicycle. And it also means they're able to modify this sensor so that it can actually measure your angles of not just 10 degrees, but wider, up to 50 degrees, which they believe will be really good for cycling applications.
Yeah, it's not uncommon as well, is it, to actually have that when you're riding along?
Especially, well, yes, at lower speeds. The faster you go, the narrower your effectively becomes. But yeah, interesting stuff. And they say that the pod will hopefully be available in summer 2019.
Oh, that's good news, isn't it? I love things like this, actually. That home users can really get involved with. Now, we're going to finish off with a little bit of cool tech. Now, it was great to see Canyon SRAM win the Women's Team Time Trial World Championships last weekend. What was super cool, though, on their bikes were those disc wheels with matching socks, weren't they? In those flashy colours. I mean, we talk about flashy colours and this and that, but actually it was done for a reason. It was to celebrate Zip's 30th anniversary. I can't believe they're 30 already. I mean, I remember the first time I saw a Zip disc wheel, and it was in red, and it was by a Welsh lad using it, and I was like, that is so cool, and the Y-frames, everything like that. But anyway, lovely touch by Zip to do that for those riders. I'm sure it gave them just that little bit of extra motivation.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
I'm going to try and get one. Yeah. Try and get one, and the socks be all right, that, wouldn't it?
Hopefully they'll arrive in time for the club run on Sunday.
Yeah, or if not, Monday morning's commute.
Yeah.
Set a PB. Anyway, more tech for you next week. Now it's time for the part of the show called Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades. What on earth does that mean, though? Well, it means that you have to submit to us using the uploader tool down there, pictures or videos, anything like that, of new bits of bling that you've bought for your bike or your training setup, anything like that, and you could be in chance of winning a workshop apron.
/ cape.
Oh yeah, have you got it?
Give me the cape.
The Caped Crusader, he's back. Right, anyway, but first of all, we actually have to announce a winner. And the winner from last week was a thriller from Manila. It was Manuel, and that bike which he bought for $50 and really transformed it to look $1 million. So well done. Get in touch with us on Facebook and we will arrange the delivery of that cape, apron, whatever you want to call it, we will arrange delivery of it. But let's crack on then with this week's entrants. Who have we got, mate?
Well, this week we've got two awesome ones. We have got first up Ali from Shiraz in Iran. Ooh. And this is their Giant Escape R3, which has been converted into a road bike. Ali says that after riding it about 2 kilometres, 2,000 kilometres in the city as a commuter bike last year, he decided to have drop bars put on it.
Right.
He bought it as a cheap second-hand drop bar. Well, he bought a cheap second-hand drop bar and found an old Tiagra group set.
Found it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know, yeah. And now he's got a lovely road bike.
Yeah.
And he's still using it for his commute, but he says it's more fun to ride. And
it looks long though, doesn't it, that?
It does
look long, but
it looks bloody awesome.
I love it when people do this because it's not as straightforward or simple as it would look from the offset.
Yeah, and he's put some Mavic Sirium wheels on as well, which are cracking wheels. I have had a couple of pairs of them and are brilliant wheels. Love them.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting quite a few of these sent in, aren't we? And it's got us thinking, would you like to see a video on this? How to convert a flat bar bike to a drop bar bike.
Yeah, because this wasn't something that was on our radar, but having started this feature,
Yeah, let us know.
more and more people are sending it in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, Shiraz from Iran, he is up against Taylor from Canada. Now, Taylor desperately wanted to upgrade their entry-level Trek 1.2 to something like a Canyon Air Road, but after discovering GCN a little over a year ago, which got Taylor back on their bike on a regular basis, Taylor became obsessed with the maintenance videos. Taylor bought themselves a set of essential tools, and thanks to Dan, Cy and John from GCN,
What about
Taylor...
me?
Well, hang on. Taylor completely restored their entry-level bike into beauty. Taylor even did their own paint job and left the carbon fork naked because it looked so great. Full Ultegra 8050 Di2 group set, Zip 302s and Vittoria Corsa skin wall tyres. That bike looks nothing like the original, does it?
That is an incredible transformation.
I mean, for a start, he's turned the seat post round the correct way, Taylor.
Yeah.
But you've treated yourself to some zips as well and a new group set and everything, but that paint job, it looks amazing.
It's when we set up this segment of the show,
Yeah.
I think in my head I was hoping we would get stuff sent in like this because that is absolutely awesome.
Right. We're at risk now of influencing the voters, aren't we, here? So, I mean, the other bike, Ali, your bike was an absolute stunner as well, mate. But anyway, it's not up to us, is it?
No, it's not up to us.
So up there, you can vote. Is it the road bike conversion or is it that Trek conversion? Let us know. And next week, we're going to reveal the results of that. And well, someone is going to be getting a workshop apron. Or cape. Yeah, or cape. It doesn't really matter. Send us yours, though, remember, using the uploader tool. Right, Bike of the Week time. The time where you get to vote for your favourite bike out of two that we put head to head. First up, though, we've got to reveal the results of last week's competition, or battle. Now, it was between the De Rosa time trial bike and the BH time trial bike at the Vuelta a España. And this was a very, very close battle indeed. The winner, with 52% of the votes, the Green Goddess, that De Rosa. I love the colour of it.
Yeah, I love that.
Right, what we got this week then?
Well, this week it's personal.
Okay.
I am going head to head
Go on.
against fellow GCN presenter James Lousley Williams.
Oh, gosh.
It's my Trek Madone disc
Yeah?
versus his Trek Madone disc. We've been arguing in the office.
Yeah, they have.
We
It's
need to find
embarrassing.
out who's got the best one, and you guys are going to let us know. Mine is fitted with the rather outrageous Zip 858 NSW wheels as well, so I mean, it's obviously vote for mine.
Yeah. However, I would just like to bring it to the viewers' attention that it's going to be really awkward when presumably I have to announce the winner to either yourself or James. I don't know. Maybe I'll get you both in here next week. Actually, that'd be a nice little battle as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, but as ever, you know what to do. Vote up there, top corner. Who are you going to go for, Ollie or James? Who are you going to go for, mate?
I'm going to go for James.
All right, cool. Bike Vault time. Right, this is the moment of the show where we rate your bikes either nice or super nice. But how do we get to be able to rate them, Ollie? Tell them.
That's really easy. Submit your pictures of your bikes using the uploader link, which is in the description below.
Yeah, and it's simple. We will get through them eventually. We have had literally thousands submitted, so apologies if we've not got to you yet, but I'm sure we will one day. Now, first up is David from Santa Cruz in CA, which is presumably California this time.
Yeah, not Canada.
No. It's David's Specialized S-Works SL6. It's got Ultegra Di2, head 4+ wheels, a Stages power meter, and some aero bars. It's a big old bike, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big size, it's like 61 or something.
I would estimate, 61 or a 64.
A lot of seat posts going on there as well.
A lot of seat post. But
yeah.
It's a nice looking bike, isn't it?
It is a nice looking bike. Valves not quite lined up, so maybe knock them off that. I think either both bottles or no bottles. The one bottle
that's
thing.
true actually.
Not too sure about that.
Either go fully loaded or not loaded at all.
Yeah, it's a nice bike.
Nice bike.
I'm not quite sure it's super nice.
No, I think it's a nice bike. Yeah.
Nice bike, Dave.
Right. Next then, Edgardo from Ann Arbor in Michigan. It's a felt B2. Apparently the graphics were hand-cut vinyl, changed to green from red. Dura shifters and derailleur. Tegra cranks, Eastern EC90 wheels. They got some cool logos on them too. Celia Talia flight saddle. He's put a Canyon integrated bar and stem on there too, which is quite an unusual choice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's an 1.5 inch steerer as well, so presumably that's partly why he's done it. Yeah. Unless you've got a shim.
You may probably got a shim in there. I don't know. Let us know. Cranks, he says, are in a proper position. Valves in the 6 o'clock position. Matching green titanium skewers and very pro white bar tape. He's done a real sales.
It's that gold chain on there.
Gold chain. Give me some. Thank you.
What's really cool to see is the B2 frame set. I believe that is a time trial frame.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
So this is a modification of a time trial bike into a road bike, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
I really like that.
I know it rides, but yeah, it's a good-looking bike, and yeah, I mean, attention to detail. That's been done here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's is it super nice?
Ooh. Nearly.
Super nice.
I think nearly, but not quite.
Yeah. There's something which I don't know. Something about it makes me say it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Right. Next up then, James from the North Downs in Kent, an area which we both know very well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, I do. And
I've been around there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's James's Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL3 HTC High Road Edition. Beautiful bike. Owned it since 2011, but a few upgrades have been put onto it. So he's put SRAM E-tap and just got a set of Hunt Aero race wheels. Recently slammed the stem, trying it out before I make the final cut. Something which, well, you definitely have to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Measure twice, cut once, but also play around with that position before you go ahead and slice down that carbon steerer.
Since we've got speed play pedals on there, which is
green colour to match the green on the frame. Interesting location. Please do not feed these horses. You could kill them with misplaced kindness. Thank you. Of course, yeah. Animal safety is obviously key as well.
Do you know what?
Go on.
I know he's gonna hate me for this. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
If he cut his steerer, like once once he's decided on his steerer length, it's a super nice.
He got really excited, I reckon, and thought, I've got to get into that bike vault. So I'm going to send in these images and, well, go from there. But, yeah, it's a nice bike. Yeah. Right,
What's
this next one, Mauricio from Mexico City, a 1983 Bonotto. Apparently bought this old frame that was forgotten in a warehouse for over 30 years. That's an absolute beauty. I don't care what you say. I don't know what he's going to say.
Do you know what
stem as well. What? He's got a tub folded up underneath the saddle.
Retro, I like that.
Yeah, the back tyre.
Pre-stretched.
Easy to get on, no problem there. Now the back tyre, it has let it down a bit though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's green. He's gone green.
But in terms of what we were on about with sustainable design, components that you can fix if there's a zombie apocalypse.
My mate Joe had one of these Bonottos.
I mean, that's a bike that you'd flee from zombies on.
Exactly, yeah. They wouldn't be chasing you. They wouldn't be able to. You'd leave them for dust. That, I don't know about you, but mate, I reckon that's super nice. Just because it stood the test of time.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. Mexico City, super nice, coming your way. Right. Final bad boy this week. Jesse, Kuri Island. Okinawa in Japan, BMC road machine. Oh, hang on. What chains you got on that?
Oh, it's a gold one.
Gold one. They know how to get in here, don't they? I see something underneath the saddle there. It looks like a mount for a saddlebag, doesn't it? So he's taken that off for the photo.
It does, yeah.
Getting a little bit of a noggin of steerer popping out above there. What a location, though.
Yeah.
That looks absolutely beautiful. Do you know what? Like something. If that bridge wasn't in the background,
I like that bridge.
I like that bridge too, actually. No, I don't know. Like I do like that bridge. Big fan of bridges.
I want to ride along that bridge.
Yeah,
quite cool. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm torn on this one, and I think it's a nice. Yeah, because
if
it was super nice, we would know instantly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's a nice bike. So that is a lovely looking bike. Now you know what we say. If you want to get in the bike vault, just submit your photos using that uploader tool down there in the description, and we will do our very best to include it. We want to see them from all 4 corners of the globe, as well as a nice lengthy description too, because we want to know everything that's on that bicycle so we can really try and sell it to one another when we go through the pictures. Maybe you'll get a nice, or maybe you'll get a ring of the good old bell. Right, there we are. Nearly time for the end of the show, which is always a bad point, really, isn't it? But don't worry, we've got heaps more great content coming up for you this week. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And if you haven't, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and click the little bell icon so you get a notification every time we upload an awesome new video.
Exactly. So remember as well to like and share this video. What do they have to do? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, friends. Right, and also remember to check out the GCN shop, shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. We have a whole heap of goodies for you to check out and spend your pocket money on.
It's getting a bit cold here, that's why I've got a sweater on now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's getting ever so chilly here in the UK in the mornings. And now for another great video, how about clicking on his face?